Today, for our warm up, we are going to look at a problem that is very similar to a problem that you're going to find on your Chapter 9 quiz. And I just wanted to practice. Basically, what we're doing is we're looking at a table of values, and we need to write the equation. Now, we know that this is not a line because here I'm subtracting 7, then I'm subtracting 5, then I'm subtracting 3, then I'm subtracting 1, then I'm adding 1, then I'm adding 3. So that's not either a multiplication pattern, which would have me find an exponential function, y equals a times b to the x. It's also not a line because that would be an adding or subtracting pattern. So I see that there is a turnaround point, and then we're equivalent on either side. So this pattern that I'm looking at, if you can picture this, is that of a parabola. So we want to go ahead and take this table of values that if we were to graph it, it would be a parabola. And we want to go ahead and we want to find the equation of that parabola. So our very first step is we are going to find our x-intercepts. So our x-intercepts is our intercepts when we have movement for x and then we freeze, so our y is 0. So we're looking for those places where we have a number for x and a 0 for y, because that's the definition of our intercept. So we're going to go ahead and take those roots out. Our first root is at -4, and our second root is at +2. Now that we have our roots, we're going to work backwards in order to turn this into product form. So normally when we have product form, we had a set of parentheses and we use the zero product property in order to go ahead and find out what those roots are. So basically we're going to work backwards. So we're going to set up our product form as a set of parentheses, and we're going to put our x's first. And then we're going to put the opposite of each root. So instead of a -4, that's going to be an x plus 4. And instead of a +2, that's going to be an x minus 2. Now I want you to think backwards here. If we were to take each of these, set them equal to 0 and solve, this would have x equal to -4, and this would have x equal to -2. And that's how we get our root. So we're looking backwards from there. Now that we have product form, in order to turn it from product form into our y is equal to ax squared plus bx plus c, we're going to be basically multiplying binomials, which we've done from the beginning of the year. So we're going to put these outside our generic rectangle. There's x plus 4, and going the bottom up, x minus 2. And now we're going to go ahead and multiply, 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 multiply. X times x is x squared. X times 4 is 4x. X times -2 is -2x. And 4 times -2 is -8. Our final is to put it in our correct order, and all we have to do is combine those like terms. So we're going to start as y is equal to, then we have our x squared. We combine our like terms. 4x minus 2x is positive 2x. And then we have our constant, our -8. And this is our final answer. Now we can test that by going into Desmos. And on Desmos, we're going to go ahead and type in our answer that we got. We have x squared plus 2x minus 8. And we can see that our roots are at -4 and at +2. But the way I can really tell is I can go ahead and go here to Edit List and then click on Convert to Table. And I can go ahead and type in those numbers that I have. If I look at -5, it gives me a 7. And that is just what I have here on my worksheet. So you can make sure that those have. I actually like to kind of start from scratch up here. So I like to kind of start with where my items are. So -5, and then my next one there is -4, -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, and 3. And then I can go ahead and see all of my numbers and make sure that they're paired up correctly. If any of those are different, that means that I did make an error. Okay, let's do this again on our second one. So once again, my first step is to find My x-intercepts, which is in y, is 0. I then write them as my root. So I have a root of -1 and a root of 3. I do the opposite to write those in product form. So I have an x plus 1 and an x minus 3. I then put those on the outside of my generic rectangle, and then I'm going to multiply, 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 multiply. X times x is x squared. X times 1 is x. X times -3 is -3x, and 1 times -3 is -3. I'm going to finally write my final equation in standard form, and I have y is equal to x squared. I combine my like terms. -3x plus x is -2x, and then -3. I like to finish up, as always, by checking my work. And my new equation that I just found out was x squared minus 2x minus 3. And I can check those roots. I can also convert, edit list, convert to table. And this one starts at -2, -1, 1, 2, and this one went to 4. And then I just double check on my table that was given to me to make sure that those are all of those correct X, Y ordered pairs. And once again, they are. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, you're given a table of values and you see that it's a parabola. You're going to find those X's, which are your roots, your Y, your intercepts, your x-intercepts. You're going to change that into product form and then use the outside of a generic rectangle to go ahead and multiply those binomials and then combine like terms to get your parabola equation. And once again, this is going to be a question on your Chapter 9 quiz and your Chapter 9 test. So make sure you're asking for help if you are struggling.